And I pass over now to Mandeep. You will host this panel. I have a different role in this panel. I will step down and give a lady a next floor. Mandeep Ray, please. Make it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back from lunch. Yes, give me a big wave, please. Great to have you all back. Are you enjoying yourselves? Has anyone had a Lavazza coffee? If so, or even a coffee today, please raise your hand if you've had a coffee. Okay, so most of you. And please raise your hand if your day always starts with a coffee. In fact, you almost don't feel like you wake up unless you have a coffee. So that's most of the room. That's how important coffee is. It's not just a product. It's not just a business. It's a culture, and a ubiquitous culture. A culture that exists like a wedding lunch. A dinner will be a wedding dinner. Why? Because we're marrying with social business. And we know for a fact that we're not hosted by Lavazza just because they have this space. We're hosted by Lavazza or by coffee because there's a beautiful marriage between coffee and social business. And in fact, any product or business can become a social business. So we're going to start right there. Now, when I met Hans, I was really taken aback in some way, shape, or form to Hans. He's not just the head of the Global Business Summit, but he's also our friend. And when we first met, about 15 years ago, he spoke about the perfect day. The perfect day is coffee. So Hans...
I didn't drink coffee, but my best friend needs help in India. And he's a farmer, a very great farmer, permaculture farmer. He has a huge, beautiful land in Kerala. And he needs an income for his children, $6,000 for the school fee. At this moment, I was, in my circumstance, rich. I could give him just $120,000 and say, send your children to school. But then I would ignore the power of a coffee farmer, or of a farmer.
Can everyone hear Hans?
Can you hear me?
Clearly at the back?
So
yep.
My idea was, I asked him, what do you have in your beautiful forest? He said, cardamom, mint, mangoes, pepper. And say, oh, it's very difficult to make $6,000 out of this. I'm in the luxury field. And then somehow coffee is growing. And it was 2003, and I say, oh, coffee? Coffee is beautiful. Coffee is magic. Even I don't drink it, but coffee is culture. Coffee is something come together. Coffee is so much more than a product. It's a way of living. So, and then I say, okay, how much coffee you have? You say, 1.5 tons, 2 tons. Good, I buy it every year for $6,500. Whatever, how much you have, you get $6,500, and I sum it up and say 7,007 for 1 ton of coffee, and you solve your problem. Today, the children are farmers and farmers and farmers and farmers. That's my story to coffee. Now coffee is my best friend.
Coffee is indeed your best friend.
Absolutely, I love it.
And coffee transformed those lives.
Transformed my life because I see the beauty is the new interface to nature. Coffee is such a beautiful product to find out how we redesign our interface to nature.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what I see.
Thank you,
I
Hans.
can sit down?
Yes, please, feel free.
Thank you, thank you.
What's great about coffee also, just as Hans said, is the fact that it's global. I've just come back from East Timor. It's my 180th country, and East Timor was thinking, what can we produce? What could we produce really well that the rest of the world will consume? And indeed, it's coffee. And where there's coffee, there's normally cocoa and all other products. So, without further ado, we are in the house of coffee. This space that we've been given by the Lavazza family was created specifically so that anyone within the home of Turin could utilize it. They have a special garden. They created this as a social space. Hence, we're being housed here. And my next guest was born in Turin, was studied at Turin, the University of Turin, where some people have gone to now, and had basically given their life. In fact, he's the 4th generation in the business of Lavazza. Please, Giuseppe Lavazza, please join us.
me on stage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the
You've,
introduction.
please, you've had this like extraordinary journey with Lavazza because although you joined the family business in 1991, since then, actually, we have a little narrative here. We have a narrative that in these times of crisis, and it might feel like we are either just coming out of the pandemic or we're going into a recession. Either way, we're in a time of crisis and definitely a climate crisis as COP27 just starts, and we're talking about it again. But in 2002, there was your own crisis within the space of coffee, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And you can tell us that's how this all began for you.
Yeah, this was the origin of our commitment towards sustainability. At that time, the coffee production was hit by a huge oversupply of coffee related to the major coffee-producing countries, Brazil, for example, but not only Brazil, even Vietnam. And of course, the oversupply affected quite a lot the price that went down to an historical low level, creating a lot of damaging in all the coffee community around the world, destroying, of course, the life of many people, many farmers. Was really a big, big disaster, terrible. And for the first time, we decided, of course, to take action with a company that's totally dependent from coffee, 100%. So we can thrive only if farmers are thrive. And we understand that very, very well, that period of our company life. So we decided in 2002 to join forces with our other coffee companies around Europe, especially some big coffee traders. We created a joint initiative called International Coffee Partner. It was a sort of private, a pre-competitive activity, first of all. So for the first time, a lot of companies that notably are competitors in the coffee market joined the forces to try to make a difference and to help farmers in surviving. So we started this incredible journey at that time. And we capitalized a lot of experience still now. So now we are facing, of course, a lot of other crises. But I can say we are quite equipped and ready to do the best as possible, to make impossible possible, of course, and to change, of course, the future of this beautiful industry, as told you very well. It's a magic world, connected people with nature, people living in different corner of the globe, that's in the production side, with the traders, with the roasters, with the consumers. Now the coffee is a global product. It's very peacefully colonizing the world from north to south, to east to west. So it's a big duty for us. It's a big responsibility to keep this industry, of course, moving towards the future with the respect, all the new principles for which we are here, of course, to talk and to fight for.
Thank you. I'm glad that he said the word peace because we know what's coming next. You're going to take us through a video. Before you do, please take a seat. We're going to have a little living room discussion. Now, I think I almost feel as though I don't have the words to introduce the next guest because they transformed, I think, many of our lives. Like, I know they transformed your life, Hans. They've definitely transformed my life. They're not just a Nobel Prize winner in the sense that, yes, they stood for peace. They're not just the head of the Grameen Bank and the founder, or the head and founder of the 3 O's, or the head and founder of the Creative Lab. They actually, when I met them at 12, firstly, they embraced me into the family. This is a family. And they told me about all the values that had gone into, they talked about trust. And talked about trust in a way that once you see the trust that they put into you, you deliver that trust. Once they talk to you with empathy, you bring that level of empathy, including me, which led to the Values Compass. So I really, with all my heart and soul, would love to invite Professor Yunus onto the stage, please. Professor Yunus, yes, would you like to sit first?
Down.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
We're going to go into a discussion, but did you want to share a video quickly before we get into this discussion?
Yeah.
Yes? Is there a video you wanted to share? Yeah. Okay, are we presenting that video? I'm just checking. If not, we'll jump straight into the discussion. Maybe is there a video? Okay. And if you want to talk us through it, feel free.
Oh, thank you.
Because I believe there's no
Yeah.
audio, so yes.
Yeah, of course. So the company is involved in sustainability activities for many years. And we went through many different stages. And really, we gained a lot of experience just doing things hands-on, avoiding as much as possible a theoretical approach. And nowadays, we are, of course, very proud and happy to showcase a lot of different initiatives, starting from, of course, the foundation, the creation of our foundation in 2004. That was exactly one of the backlash of the crisis in 2002. And with the foundation, of course, we set a sort of long-term commitments for life, I can say, because foundation is for life, towards the most important coffee community around the world. So that was very first important step. And then we, of course, progressive a little bit, because even the world agenda was progressing towards a better acknowledgement of the problem and the issue related to the global crisis, to the climate change, to the inclusion, the social, of course, issue everywhere. Diversity and technology access and many other stuff. So first of all, for example, we joined the Global Compact. It was very important to the public and private initiative. It's a very important tool for us to, of course, to accelerate and to scale up the original ideas and to, of course, pass from a theoretical point of view to a practical point of view. Then, of course, came the United States Sustainable Development Goals, the big agenda with the 17 goals, and of course Lavazza joined immediately this initiative. Now we are focusing especially on 4 of these goals, the goal number 5, the goal number 8, the goal number 12 and 13, because of course over the years, what in the beginning was a sort of separated activity, very concentrated on the foundation, slowly, but without any stop, became a part of the company strategy. So we worked quite a lot to try to create a more organized system and to look at the company as an ecosystem where every single small activity is totally correlated. So nowadays it's impossible to split what is the company strategy from what is the foundation strategy, what is the sustainability, and what is the company strategy. The two things merge together, and now it's part of the top management agenda, of course, to fulfill and to support the development of the company, having in mind that we want to act in a specific way according exactly to our sustainable principles.
So this sounds, as Professor Yunus said, electrifying in the sense that you're saying that at some point, what you're doing in terms of business and what you're doing in terms of your foundation seems to have married together. Professor Yunus, I think you had described social business as an activity where the profit is immediately put back in, and that so you're not gaining profit, you're thinking about a social problem and you're solving that social problem. Do you think, when you said that when you met Mr. Lavazza this time round it was electrifying, and think this is the first time you met, do you think that what they're doing so far in terms of the foundation is truly, have they created a social business, or do we need to create that social business? Can we go further?
Well, thank you. Well, I'm the most ignorant person about coffee.
Their love is pizza,
Yeah,
just so you know.
because I come from a country which is a tea country. We don't have any concept of coffee. We thought tea is the best in the world. So that background, and I'm exposed, perfect day. So I was trying to understand, what is this coffee, and perfect day? So he explained what he does, and still he couldn't convert me into coffee. So in order to do that, he conspired to take me to Kerala, where his coffee is grown, and let me spend time in that mountainous part of the country, and showed how his coffee is grown and how the farmers are participating and sharing everything. And he was guaranteed return for them so that they know exactly whatever the business is, they will have guaranteed return for whatever they do when they